today I'm going to share with you Kevin's golf lesson. He went from hitting it short and not very accurate by making these changes. Have a look at the top video right here. Look at the differences at the top of the backswing. One of them is massively across the line. The top is where we started. The bottom is where we finished. But also have a look at this downswing. One on plane, one over the top, always cutting across the golf ball. Now I'm going to share with you the 3 stages that I talked through with Kevin, and I know they're going to help your golf game too. So let's start in the exact place I started Kevin's lesson. And I start this with everybody and I say, look, if we're not stood to the golf ball correctly, how on earth do we have the idea of actually being longer and being straighter? If you think about it, our body sort of sets the tone to how we swing the golf club. If I was really over it, we might work more this way. If I was stood quite upright to it, so somewhere here, I might swing more like this. Now have a look at the side of the screen here. Kevin started with those hands really high, really upright in this position right here. Now anytime our hands are very upright, we're more likely to grab that golf club in the palm. Now anytime we have the golf club in the palm, it makes it very, very hard to control our golf club. Think about it, right? When we're swinging this golf club at speed, it's effectively a really heavy weight. Now, if we've not got control of that heavy weight in our grip, how on earth do we deliver power and how on earth do we deliver control? Now, I said to Kevin, right, you can't change your grip because of how you're stood to the golf ball. So again, look at the differences in the top to the bottom here on the side of the screen. The top is where we started, hands really high, club in the palm. The bottom is where we finished, the club a lot lower and in the fingers. So the simple piece of advice I told Kevin as one of these 3 changes was, come on, all I want you to do, instead of that butt end of the golf club, so this grip end pointing, let's say, in the middle of our chest, can we get it pointing towards our belt buckle? And he said, well, the toe's off the floor. I said, perfect. Absolutely what I want. From here, look how the club sits way more in the fingers. Up here, look how it sits more in the palm. So, first piece of advice, no matter if it's with iron, so like this, or if you were to grab driver, I want that butt end of the golf club to point under our belt buckle to allow us to get the club more in the fingers, but also allow us to get more over that golf ball, have that more solid base. And just to combine that first little tip, I said, where would you be if you're picking up a heavy weight? He said, well, I'd be somewhere around here. Perfect. So the first piece of advice was all around setup and how that affected our grip. So go from the top to the bottom. Now I want to encourage you to check your setup to go, actually, maybe this is the problem and why I've stemmed into hitting several bad shots, just all coming from a poor setup. So before we move on to that next stage, I just really want to say that I allowed Kevin to hit 10 to 15, maybe possibly 20 shots with an iron and then a few with driver, just being more comfortable with those hands lower. So somewhere around here, I'm going to hit him towards the right here because there is water, it's going to feel very different. And the words that he used was, I feel like my chest is on the floor. So if it's changing your setup after watching that first stage, be aware that you feel very over the golf ball. So let's bring in the next phase of this video. And I want to take you back to the videos that we had. Now have a look at this video from Kevin right here. I'm going to draw a line straight up and down and some lines around his chest. Have a look how he takes the club very under plane and then at the top of the backswing, or let's say 3/4 halfway back, his hands are behind. We call this very, very deep. Now this compromised his golf club in terms of playing, but also his club face. It also didn't allow him to move his body correctly. So let me share with you now, if we pull in the video of us actually working through a few drills, and this brings me nicely onto this next phase. Again, I want to reiterate this. Whatever I said to Kevin with irons, I said all we do is the same with driver. We've just got to change our ball position. That is the only thing I want you to do. And he said, well, that's just like too simple. Golf is simple when you think about it that way. If we now look at the bottom video and I draw the exact same lines on, one on the back of the chest, one on the front of the chest, and that plane line. The first thing you're going to notice is that plane line isn't really upright. It's a lot lower. Perfect. That's one of the places we want to start with this. But I want to take you to halfway back. Have a look at the difference of where these hands are now. The club is way more on plane, not too steep, but also those hands are in the middle of the chest. This position right here allows us to harness the body, the club, and the arms to all work together. But most importantly, allows us to facilitate a very good club face. And there's no point having power, is there, if we can't control the club face? So let me talk you through now how we got to this top of the backswing position that looks very, very different. I mean, they are absolutely chalk and cheese. Way more sort of harnessed in the legs and turned over it, but also the hands in a great position. And I think it's really interesting how we can really start to change golf swings with just some simple cues. So the first one was our stance, which affected our grip. The next one, all I said to Kevin was, from this good position, and I'll show you this with an iron first, and then with driver, can we feel as though halfway back, the hands are in the middle of the chest, but the butt end of the club, I said, point somewhere down here. So extended line back here of our ball to target line. If that was in this direction, can we just set that here? Now look how much more powerful that is. Look how my right hand is set. Now think about it. That's power, isn't it? That's push. Here, I can't really put any force, any power into the shot. So we then worked in sets of 5. The first 3 of that set of 5, we paused halfway back, checked the position. I gave him a good, yeah, we can go, and then we hit away. And that looked a little bit of something like this. Back, set, up, and through. Straight away, he was like, whoo! Even on those pause shots, starting to really improve his game. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is check that halfway back position. I'm looking for those hands more in the middle of the chest, the club set more down towards the golf ball, and that club face and left wrist matching, okay? Let me do that with driver for you, just so you can really see that actually from a different ball position. Now look at that. The same cues really get me to set the club on plane and work perfectly in that backswing. So at stage number 2, I just said, Kevin, all I want you to do is get the hands middle of the chest and pointing that butt end of the club down towards the golf ball or an iron extending back from the golf ball. So make that backswing as we said, so it feels more set, more turned.
Yeah.
Okay, now on the downswing, I want you to feel the club now works more.
An almost freak the club.
A little bit, not too much, but just see, so did the club feel like it was behind you for longer there, did you say? So swing back and stop.
How's like, you know, grip wise?
So imagine in a tube of toothpaste,
yeah.
Don't squeeze the toothpaste out if it was open.
Oh, right.
So enough pressure on it.
That's why maybe I was squeezing a bit tight as well.
Yeah, I think that's maybe because it feels different. So pause that, do that again. Okay. That's right. Pause the top of it. Good, so that's perfect. So instead of like swinging out towards the ball,
yeah,
and then look at where we sort of come across it,
yeah,
we want to feel the arms drop, and we let it, we call release. So if you practice that's it, yeah. Don't lean back, just let the club take you through. That's the one. So see how now the club is working with the weight of you?
Yeah.
You already started to do that, like that last shot you hit.
Yeah.
You already started to do this. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
So now after you've just seen that video of the actual live part of that lesson, can you see how I was really encouraging, once we've got here, I said to Kevin, right, all I want you to do is drop those arms and turn through. It's a little bit like, don't do this. Well, if you want to also get involved with this video just like Kevin, you can. It's easy. Please drop me an email to this email down below, and I'll be sure to pick out your swings, pick out your videos, and help you improve your golf. We need a down the line video and a face-on a video, and a little bit of blurb about how you hit the golf ball currently, what good shots you hit and what bad shots you hit. So as long as you've subscribed and you've turned on the bell, I'll be sure to help you out and play much better golf this summer. But if I said to you, go on, throw this golf club as far as you can in that direction, how would you do it? Well, I wouldn't be like this. I would definitely stand there and be arms drop, then I'd turn in with the hips, and then I'd throw it through. Now, the one thing that you really notice on this video here is that the room Kevin has. And that's why you allow Kevin to hit it straighter, but more importantly, it's going to allow you to hit it straighter. It's going to allow you to hit it longer. This, I'll be honest, is the bit where we really started to level up the power. All I said to Kevin was, if we can just practice a few swings. Now at this stage, I want you to go driver, irons, mix it up, start to test yourself, because we want to start to replicate what we have out on the golf course. So I said to him, right, okay, we're going to get that good setup. It all stems from that as point one. Point two, turn a little bit more, and we feel like we're going to drop and turn through. I just really encouraged him just to drop and turn through. This was our focus for maybe 5, 6, 7 practice swings. And so I said to him, I don't care, Kevin, where this next golf ball goes. And when you're trying this part in stage 3, don't care where the golf ball goes for 10 shots. I promise you, it will go a lot straighter, a lot further than you had before, because you're starting to get the key areas and the core of the golf swing in a much better place. So look at this, right? I want you to practice and process this. Up, arms drop, turn through. Again, look at me on the side of the screen here with Kevin. The exact same moves. Now we can stand here and really start to implement with a little bit less speed what you feel in the golf swing, but loads more power, loads more control, and loads more accuracy, no matter if we're talking about irons or with driver. I do hope you enjoyed this lesson from Kevin and with me here at Mottram Hall. If it did help you, please do subscribe to the channel and turn the bell. I look forward to helping you in another video here on the channel.